Y'all know that John Green book, An Abundance of Catherines? Well, today I'm the sequel, An Abundance of Lip Gloss. Today in the hot seat, we have the LA Girl Plumping Tinted Gloss. This is that girl. She is that B-I-C-T-H in that order. I can probably, what am I doing? No, you can't. Your lips are only so big, girl. You are not Trisha Paytas, and thank God for that. All right. Hey sis, I've returned from the dead. Walking back into the beauty community to make some videos for y'all sort of feels like that episode of Community where Troy went downstairs to get the pizza and then came back up and Pierce had been shot in the leg and his apartment was on fire. Everybody mad at everybody else. James versus Tati, James versus Social Blade, Jeffree Star versus Karma, Nick Avocado versus Trisha Paytas versus Telling the Truth. Also, Jake Paul versus Cody Ko, Jake Paul versus Having a Sense of Humor, Wet n Wild versus the entire cruelty-free beauty community. And I'm here to talk about none of it. Let's talk about some makeup. Too Faced naming conventions for their products are either real sexy or real cutesy. And we have something for the sexy department here. We have another mascara from Too Faced. This one's called Damn Girl. Full disclosure, I want this. Literally because I think it would be funny to have a mascara called Damn Girl. Damn Girl. Yeah, we got the Damn Girl mascara. We got the Better Than Sex mascara. Bring it back a couple years. We got the Lash Injection. And we've got my personal favorite, the Size Queen. I'm so sad that I never bought this when it was on super sale at Nordstrom Rack. It has the most goofily huge brush I've ever seen on a mascara, but it's so silly. I love it. I gotta not buy things ironically for shamelessly and curled lashes. How hard do you think Too Faced wanted to spell thick T-H-I-C-C for this packaging? Imagine somebody asking you like what mascara you're wearing and you're like, oh, it's Damn Girl. And she's like, oh, you trying to holler? Like, what? And then you get a girlfriend. Ah, Too Faced is here making love connections all over the place. This is old tea because I already tweeted about this. Bite Beauty is coming out with a special limited run of lipstick. This is the limited edition road trip collection. San Francisco, which has a picture of the Golden Gate Bridge. Miami, which has a flamingo on it. Toronto, which has a leaf. The maple leaf. New York, Chicago, Dallas, Atlanta, and Los Angeles. I guess I'm like a little annoyed that there's no Boston one. Extra large iced Dunkin's iced coffee on it, or perhaps a baked bean or a baseball or some segregation on it. Like something very Boston themed. Like I feel a little offended that my hometown is not being represented here. Like no silhouette of Mark Wahlberg's face, the logo of Stamacket. I don't have a Boston accent except for when I have to say Stamacket. I've never said it Star Market in my life. David Ortiz, I don't know. The Citgo sign, like, okay, this is getting too esoteric. If you don't live in Boston, I'm literally so sorry. Okay. We know my history with Fenty Beauty. It's a long and storied history of betrayal, loss, love, and acceptance. Right now, I'm accepting the fact that it would be literally absurd of me to purchase the $18 Pro Kisser lip balm from Fenty Beauty. Fenty's not gonna get me with this, okay? The next lip product I buy from Fenty is either going to be a darker shade of the gloss bomb when they release it, or I'm not gonna get another lip product from Fenty. Putting a line in the sand right now. I don't even like that formula all that much of the gloss bomb, but at this point I've whined about it so much that if I don't buy a darker shade of the gloss bomb, if Robin ever gets around to releasing it, I'm gonna look like such a fake binge, so I have to buy it, obviously. However, Rihanna is absolutely teasing me and tugging at my heartstrings because she released this photograph and some people tagged me in it. They were like, you think it's finally happening, sis? And I was like, no, because that would be too convenient. What I think is happening is that she's releasing Trophy Wife in a gloss shade because she released Trophy Wife as a body lava shade. I don't trust Rihanna as far as I can throw her. And I'm very weak arms. I think when I'm on my deathbed, Rihanna herself will teleport into my hospital room and take out a perfect nude for me dark shade of the gloss bomb and just put it into my mouth and push it in until she chokes me with it. And as I begin to flatline, she just bends down into my ear and just softly sings, "Oh Nana, what's my name?" And as I choke with my last breath, Rihanna, she disappears again. And that's how I'm going to die. Milk Makeup is continuing their quest to own my entire ass by coming out with a dewy version or dewier version of the lip and cheek. I love the lip and cheek from Milk Makeup. I have the shade Quickie. You can see it in my blush collection and declutter, but mostly collection because I don't like getting rid of my blushes video. I also love looking dewy. If you wear it on your lips, that's a gloss, and we know I love gloss. Matter of fact, I'm due for a re-up. If I can pronounce words correctly, it means I'm not wearing enough lip gloss. If you wear it on your cheeks, you get some dewiness there, and I love a dewy cheek. I like my face to always look a little bit like a freshly misted bushel of kale at the grocery store produce section. There she is. Ooh, that got on my tongue. Ow. It's time to talk about ColourPop and their continuing quest to not ever color stop. ColourPop is releasing their birthday collection, which is big and beautiful and red and watermelon themed. The first thing to talk about is the newest addition of ColourPop's little family of monochromatic palettes. The red palette, which is the main squeeze palette. It's $12 like the other ones, and I think it's really cute. There's some definite overlap between some of the matte shades. You could definitely see it when they're swatched out. The trouble with monochromatic palettes is that if you have one or two brights palettes already, you might actually not need to get a monochromatic palette unless you really work with that color a lot. I like red eyeshadow. I'm wearing red eyeshadow right now, but I don't wear red eyeshadow enough that I need to get this palette to achieve looks that I can't already achieve with the red eyeshadows I clearly already own. If you don't have brights palettes and you're not sure you really want like an entire rainbow spectrum, but you know you work a lot with red or a lot with green or a lot with purple or a lot with pink, etc., then these are an amazing idea for you. But if you have a decently sized collection already that includes brights palettes, they're not the most necessary thing in the world. However, if ColourPop actually does release a yellow monochromatic palette, I will be on that like me on white on rice. I love rice. I feel like I have reason to believe that my dreams might actually come true. And here's why. I have receipts. On April 15th on Instagram, ColourPop posted a video of someone demoing their yellow loose pigment. In the caption of this video, they wrote, "Comment your fave yellow emoji if you want to see a yellow palette from us." I'm seeing a lot of yellow emojis, ColourPop. Put up or shut up, you know? You finna make my dreams come true or like, what? You know? Back to the rest of the collection. I think this palette is very cute. It's not for me, but I think it's cute. Then we have the 5th birthday Super Shock Shadow. ColourPop does a special edition Super Shock Shadow every year for the birthday. I think it's very cute. Next, we have some new glitterily obsessed glitter gels, which is not something I'm very keen on. I'm not a huge glitter person. And if I do wear glitter, I kind of only wear it on my eyes. So the glitterily obsessed are not really for me. Definitely did a double take at Starfire because it looks a little bit more Blackfire, this coloring. Don't you think? That's a little offensive. The last 2 lip products in this collection seemed to have been fabricated from my own dreams. I don't know why, how, or when ColourPop acquired the technology from the movie Inception and went into my brain and created 2 perfect lip products for me, but they did, and here they are. So the first one is a new So Juicy gloss shade. If you're not familiar, I have 3 of the ColourPop So Juicy plumping glosses already. I don't find them to do well when it comes to plumping. I don't like cooler plumping glosses, and when I say cooler, I mean minty plumping glosses. I don't think my lips are sensitive enough to peppermint oil to really become plumped and irritated by them. However, the actual formula of the gloss is wonderful. Not too sticky, it clings to the lips well, it's very comfortable and moisturizing. I'm a huge fan of them. That's why I have 3. And this one is this like beautiful red gloss. I don't know why this red tube is so attractive to me, but just like this red squishy tube is giving me all of like the mid-2000s nostalgia that I need. I love this so much that I already bought it. It's on its way to me right now. And then the last item is a new ultra matte lip in the shade Melonade. This absolutely gorgeous berry raspberry color. I have one berry liquid lipstick that's pretty much this exact shade of red. It's my NYX liquid suede lipstick in the shade Cherry Skies. Way past its expiration date. I checked it earlier. Girl, it's a 6-month on the side. I've had that for, it feel like 6 years, my guy. That thing is a biohazard now, so it's time to, it's time to switch it out. And I've said before that I'm not really into buying liquid lipsticks, and I'm not. I don't like them all that much. This is different because it's replacing, it's not buying a new one. So what am I supposed to do? Not have a raspberry colored lipstick on standby? There's being a smart consumer, and then there's just being underprepared, sis. There's a difference. Yeah, I already bought those two things. I ordered them and a couple Super Shock shadows, and also the new 5th birthday Super Shock comes free with any ColourPop order right now, so I'm getting that one also. You will see it at some point. It was a reward to myself for surviving the big work event that was making me super anxious for like a full month. So I feel like I deserved it. I bought it with all of the AdSense money that I haven't been making because I haven't been uploading. Yeah, it's fine. Do you guys see my sticker? I have a little HP Sprocket printer and I have this emoji saved into my photos for whenever I need it. And I was like, oh, what if I just freaking do this? Yeehaw, brothers. When they say yeehaw, but they don't ever ask ha yee. We gotta talk about Kylie Skin. Kylington Jenner III is putting out a skincare line. Shooting off from Kylie Cosmetics, now we are going into the pores, into the moisture barrier, deep into the skin, and healing ourselves and making ourselves beautiful from the inside out with our bestie, Kylie.
And it also retains your natural moisture in your face.
Poor little Miss Kylie has been dragged by her edges by the entirety of skincare Twitter all week because one of the flagship products of Kylie Skin is a walnut shell face scrub.
It's gentle enough to use every day. I recommend 2 or 3 times a week.
Skincare Twitter took a pause from their very busy routine of making people feel bad for using witch hazel still, and we're like, oh, what you're not going to do is market a product that will give people micro tears and cause deep scarring in their skin and mess up their moisture barrier. This is Skincare Twitter holding Kylie by her collar and just like, people were mad, my guy. People were like, how dare you release a walnut scrub right in front of my salad. It's been sort of a meme on skincare Twitter that like the St. Ives apricot scrub is a really damaging product for your skin. Granted, when someone as big and controversial as Kylie Jenner releases a very similar product and advertises that it can be used every day, skincare Twitter is gonna take issue with it. If you're wondering what the issue is with things like walnut scrubs and really abrasive salt scrubs, is that they can create little tiny tears in your skin that can cause deep scarring, it can cause dark spots. I think it can also cause little tiny infections that can lead to acne. It can make your skin feel really amazing in the moment because you're like slothing? Slothing? How is this word pronounced? I don't know. It's pronounced slough. Sloughing off dead skin, and it makes your skin feel very, very smooth. If you ever have a lot of clogged pores at once, I found a lot of success in using physical exfoliants sparingly. In Kylie's defense, I do kind of understand it because a lot of her fans are teenagers, and if you're a teenager just getting into exfoliation, it can definitely seem scary and daunting to start using like a chemical exfoliant when you don't really know what you're doing. I feel like physical exfoliants, as much long-term damage as they might cause depending on your skin type, it's a good way to sort of ease yourself into exfoliation if you're not used to it. But again, I'm not a dermatologist, I'm not Caroline Hirons. Take my opinion and my advice with a grain of salt scrub. I have this very much same opinion about Kylie Skin that I have about the rumored Huda Beauty skincare line, which is that I'm not gonna buy skincare from someone who, like, no offense, because I am very open to cosmetic procedures. Believe me, sis, I'm like 2 bad body days away from starting a little piggy bank that just says liposuction on it. Just being full disclosure, my relationship with my body is not amazing. I'm not at all closed off to the idea of cosmetic procedures, and I don't judge people who get them. However, I do think that, like, just saying, if you have like a huge following of like largely younger people, you should maybe disclose what you've gotten done so they don't think that it's like all natural or like achievable with, I don't know, like sucking on a shot glass or working out excessively or buying diet teas or appetite suppressant lollipops. Anyway, like, I know Kylie Jenner's gotten procedures done. I don't know what procedures those are because I don't care to look into that, but whatever really, really expensive medical grade skincare that she can afford to get on a regular basis, or fillers or injectables or what have you, I know that Kylie does not look the way that she looks just because of skincare. That's just not possible. Like, I just don't necessarily want to buy skincare, take skincare advice from someone that I know has had cosmetic procedures to the extent that like Kylie Jenner or Huda Kattan have gotten them. Again, I'm not judging. Honestly, like, do you wanna get real? Let's get real. Let's zoom in. This, hello, Juvederm. Anyway, let's not get myself dragged any more than I'm going to get dragged already. It's fine, everything's fine. We're going to veer left once again and talk about Too Faced one more time. This is the Triple Scoop Highlighter Palette from Too Faced. People were dragging this for pretty much every aspect of it. Either they don't like scented makeup, they don't like the chunky glitter in the highlights, they don't like the fact that it's a highlighter trio, and I can see valid criticisms in all of those points. I like highlighter trios, actually. I like them because I am of a deeper complexion, so I feel like it's a lot easier for me to play around with highlighters without them being too dark. I've definitely dealt with highlighters being too light for me, and that's really stressful, but in this highlighter palette, if a highlighter is too light for me, I can just mix it with one of the other shades, and now it's no longer too light for me. I think that pink shade in the middle is a superstar. It's beautiful. I like that sort of soft peachiness that comes with the vanilla shade. I like that the bronze shade isn't too dark. It's very like sweet caramel colored. I think it's really cute. Here's why I'm not gonna buy it. This is a Too Faced highlighter trio, so it's probably somewhere in the ballpark of $35 to $45. The other day, I was at CVS and I happened to see this. This is the LA Girl Bright Beam Babe highlighter and bronzer palette, and it looks like this. And immediately I was sort of struck by like the shifting qualities of the highlighters. Like, do you see how they catch the light? They're a little chunky, but I kind of like that in a highlighter. My current glow on my face, my highlight, is a mixture of two of these shades. This one and this one. I think this is really This is like $14. Now the two bronzers I can't really do anything with. I can wear them on my eyes, and actually, weirdly enough, if I mix them well, I can kind of get almost a blush tone from them. This is a really nice palette, dude. Like, let me show you some swatches. Like, right? Oh, those are really chunky swatches that look so artificial. Let me spread those out a little bit, blend them out. Okay, those are a little bit more faithful to how they actually look like when they're diffused on your cheekbone, but still that's a little heavy. I really like them. They're really blendable with each other. I'm a huge fan of them. You can make them really subtle. They're a little sparkly, but I like a sparkly highlighter, to be honest. You can use them a little wet if you want like a ridiculously beaming highlighter. Girl, 14 bucks. If you delete the cost of the bronzers from that cost, it's about $3.50 per highlighter. Like, if you pretend these aren't in here and it was just a quad, it would be about $3.50 per highlighter for 14 bucks. Not that bad. I really like it. So because I own that now, there's no reason for me to get the highlighter trio from Too Faced. I still really like it, and I'm interested in highlighter palettes. I like them. I think they're fun. I like to mix, especially with highlighters. It's fun. It's cool and good and fun. It's good and fun and fresh, and it's good. It's good. Oh, what a fun phrase that I invented and no one else did. Fun and fresh. Isn't it weird that no one else thought of that? Like, that was me. Like, I thought of it.
Hello everyone, it's a couple days later, Nisa, here with some updates on products that released after I spent an entire day filming this video. Anastasia Beverly Hills has announced what I believe is their second or third, possibly, collaborative palette. This one is with someone who I know and admire very much. Queen of Texas, Queen of Dancing, Queen of Facial Expressions, the Vanessa Williams of drag, Alyssa Edwards herself. She's releasing a collaboration palette with Anastasia, and it's called the Don't Dream It, Be It palette. It looks like this. I think it's 100% beautiful. However, I knew kind of immediately upon looking at it that there was no way I was gonna buy it, because it overlaps way too much with the Riviera palette. One of my Twitter followers shared this very helpful image with me. This is the Twitter follower who shared the image. I'm very tired. I've been editing the video you've just been watching since I got home from work at 5, and it's 8:59. So, and honestly, I was talking about this on Twitter. I was briefly considering just risking it all and getting it anyway because of that sparkly grape color, the matte navy blue, and the matte yellow. I'm very curious to see Anastasia's take on yellow, but I'm not buying an entire eyeshadow palette just for those 3 shades when I know there's going to be so much overlap between this and Riviera. Next up is something I'm kind of excited about. Tarte is releasing a palette in collaboration with influencer, YouTuber. I don't really know who she is. I think she's a Instagram and YouTube influencer Jessie Page, who from a cursory glance at her social media sites seems absolutely adorable. They're releasing a collaboration palette with her that's a little rainbow palette in the same packaging as the Remix Natural palette. So they must have a ton of these little palettes lying around. But I do kind of admire that Tarte reuses packaging so often rather than just having to custom make new packaging. But I think this palette is very sweet. I think this is a very good, like, sort of baby's first rainbow palette. It's obviously very Pride Month appropriate. If you don't know, June is Pride Month, and that's important to me because I, if you don't know, am an absolute bicon. I think this is great, but when I first saw it, I was like, all right, time to put on the social justice warrior hat, social justice harpy hat. I immediately emailed Lauren, who is the PR girl at Tarte I talked to, and Tarte sent me PR a little while back, and I was like, hey Lauren, I just saw the pictures of this palette. I think it's super cute. Are the proceeds of this palette going towards any LGBTQ plus centered charities by any chance? And then, just to be thorough, I also DM'd Tarte on Instagram with the same question. The picture that I saw was on Beauty News' Instagram, and Tarte hadn't officially shown the picture yet. This just actually released today. Then later on, I saw on Tarte's actual Instagram that I'm on right now, so I'm gonna look down and read, that it is. So Tarte wrote in their Instagram post, together we have joined forces to donate to the Trevor Project, a leading national organization providing crisis intervention and suicide prevention services to LGBTQ plus young people under 25. So this is not just a rainbow washed palette that's not actually doing anything productive for the community. There are proceeds that are going to the Trevor Project, which I really like and respect. I was talking about this with my Discord server while I was still waiting for a reply from Tarte. And we were all just like, oh, I really hope that they're actually doing something productive with this money. Like, I hope there's like an actual purpose to this. However, I would like to mention that while it is amazing that some of the proceeds of this palette are going towards a charity, you don't have to buy makeup because you want to support a charity. You can just separately donate if you feel like this is going to add some sort of clutter to your life, or you don't need it, or you can't afford the palette itself. Obviously, for a charity, any amount of money you can spare is going to be helpful. So if you don't have palette level money to donate, or you don't need to buy more makeup, you can just donate. You can donate to anywhere. You always have that option. I even was thinking that because I was planning on filming this addendum to the video tonight anyway, if I didn't get a response from Tarte, or I didn't otherwise figure out that the sales of this palette were going to benefit something, I would have said, if you are planning on purchasing this palette, which I dead ass might, even though I really don't need more brights palettes, I'm just seeing the red, orange, and the yellow, and I'm just like, yes. And again, I'm curious to see Tarte's take on matte yellow. I think this is matte. It looks matte. It better goddamn well be matte, you know? But I was thinking, if you were considering buying this palette and it wasn't going to benefit a charity, you may want to consider also supporting a charity, or also helping someone out with their GoFundMe to fund their transition to get out of an abusive household, whatever, you know, the case may be, to not only purchase this palette for yourself, but also put your dollars towards someone who needs it. You know, it's good. It's always good to help people out in the community, you know? That is what Tarte is doing for June, for Pride Month. I really like that. So good on you, Tarte. Really proud of you. As we all know, it is in fact 20 by teen, so I really should be getting this for free, but like, it's okay. I might, you know, it's fine. Oh, frick, I actually had notes. Another note about the Alyssa Edwards and Anastasia palette. I really appreciate that the shade Back Rolls is brown, just like how my actual in real life back rolls are brown. I just feel very seen and represented by that. So thank you, Alyssa. So before I knew more about this palette being a Pride Month release, I thought it was just Tarte releasing a rainbow palette. And I'm just gonna read the note that I wrote for this so I don't have to memorize it. Again, I'm very tired. I saw a few comments saying this is Tarte trying to catch all the people who no longer want to use their James Charles Morphe palettes, which is funny, but obviously impossible because it takes more than like 2 weeks to manufacture a palette. However, it's so funny to me to think of the Barbaras at Tarte pulling a little finger from Game of Thrones and orchestrating this feud between James and Tati a year in advance just to sell a rainbow palette. And that's not going to be a segue into a barber sketch, number one, because there's already a different sketch in this video, and number two, because if I were going to make that a sketch, I would have to play James Charles, which I am not talented enough to do. Hey, 4 days ago, Nisa. Bring him back to the video.
To round things out, let's talk about Morphe. With the future of the Unleash Your Inner Lawsuit palette in flux, Morphe decided to drop a heater, a banger, an absolute ding ding dinger. This is the 39S palette. She's purple, she's gorgeous. She's got silvers, which we know I love. I love a good gunmetal silver. And it's in that big pan too. Ooh, girl, did they make this for me? This is a really lovely palette. Purple enthusiasts and maybe people who have more classic, almost all matte brown Morphe palettes would probably get a lot of amazing use out of this. But I can't help but wonder what the conversation was like in Morphe's boardroom that led them to the creation of this palette.
Ladies? Ladies? Can we please settle down? The meeting is about to begin. Hello, soul sisters. Welcome, as always, to Morphe's board meeting. I would like to begin our meeting, as we always do, with a prayer to our Lord and Savior, Linda Morphe. Dear Linda, thank you so much for being such a beacon of like fierce boss babe energy, such as that we are Morphe, because you are also Morphe. Thank you so much, Linda. We love you, sis. Next on the agenda, some unfortunate news. As some of you may already know, last night our sister and colleague Jessica M was at a Morphe event, and unfortunately her Fashion Nova dress cut off circulation to her legs, and she's currently in the ICU. Now, I think it would be more than appropriate for us to take a second and pour one out for our fallen sister. Now, on to more serious matters. Some of you may already know this, but our favorite meal ticket, YouTuber to collaborate with, James Charles, is in a bit of a scandal, and it's not making us look very good. I would explain the situation to you, but I don't have a spare 2 hours to do it with. But believe me when I say that it is giving us a lot of bad publicity. Jessica C? Yes, Jessica A, what is it? Okay, like, sis, you know I love you and you're literally a legend, but like, not to be rude, I kind of disagree with you about the bad publicity thing. Like, literally, what are you trying to say, though? Okay, like, hear me out, sis, and I'm literally not even trying to be rude or like even trying to undermine you, like, literally at all. Like, I love you, or like, literally mom status. But like, when have we at Morphe ever cared about bad publicity? Like, you know, between the Jaclyn Hill vault being terrible and our customer service being historically bad, that whole time we like private labeled our products for a bunch of years. We're Morphe, you know, like as long as we're still having influencers use our codes in their videos, we're literally gonna be fine, sis. You make a good point, but understand this. James Charles has lost somewhere in the ballpark of 2 million subscribers in the past couple of days. He's gaining some of them back, but it's still a massive loss. Okay, and I mean, when his eyeshadow skip was staining people's eyes and whatnot, we sort of just let him handle that and it was fine, even though it was our product, so technically it was our fault, and then we did the same thing with Jaclyn. We never get involved when YouTuber collaborations run into issues. We sort of just let the YouTubers be an extension of our own customer service. It saves us so much time. Like, look how many fillers I was able to get while I wasn't answering customer service emails. Sis, literally, you look absolutely stunning, but it's kind of more deep than that almost. 2 million subscribers lost means that's 2 million people who aren't using code James for 10% off. Oh my god, what? What are we literally gonna do? Don't worry, I have an idea. Oh my god, tea, sis, spill. So you know how brands like ColourPop are releasing like monochromatic palettes and whatnot, where it's like literally the same color like all throughout the palette? You mean the same thing that we've been doing with the color brown for the past 6 years? Exactly. And people have been getting so mad at us for that for such a long time, but here's the thing, it's like literally popular now. Like, it's in fashion. Fashion Nova? No, like it's in fashion, like it's popular. Do you like not know that phrase? What? It doesn't matter. Basically, here's my idea. We take all the rest of our Unleash Your Inner Lawsuit palettes that we have in our warehouses, we take all the purple and pink shades out, and then we put those in their own palette and put a bunch of glitter on it, and then we sell it and they buy it because it's big and sparkly, and then we make money again. What do you guys think? Sis, I'm literally standing. That's such a good idea. Oh my god. I know. guys wanna go to lunch? I think Press Juicery is having a special. A special on what? I think juice?
So yeah, that's probably how it went down. Morphe is like a hydra, man, I swear. You cut off one head and 9 more grow, and they're all exactly the same color. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm very glad to be back to my channel. Let me know what you think of the Morphe Jessicas. Shout out to one of my patrons, the Demonic Diva. I will put her Twitter and Instagram right here. She's cool people, and she is the brainchild of the concept for the Morphe Jessicas. Basically, I sort of feel like the Morphe Jessicas either dress like a Fashion Nova baddie or Ariana Grande, so I went with the second one of those options today. Before you leave, I'm gonna need you to do a quick favor for me. If you could go ahead and have an amazing day for me, that would be like literally iconic love. Iconic love, literally iconic. If you would like to interact with me betwixt uploads, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at nisipisa. I also have a second channel called Extra Nisipisa that I will link in the description, where I post music and covers, and then I also have a Patreon, patreon.com/nisipisa. And don't forget to use code nisipisa for 10% off at your local Scandal store. Bye guys. Literally stanning. A stanning today. Oh my god. Tea.